Hello everyone, welcome back to Linguistics 201. We are going to go on to talk about what linguistics is. First of all, let's review. So what do we mean by linguistics? Our position, which is also the mainstream Chomskyan generative view, is that it is a scientific study of naturally occurring human languages. And it is also an empirical science. In other words, linguistics theory should provide some prediction for the facts. And also, we believe that language has psychological reality, which means that linguistic theory should provide some insights of human minds. Language is a mirror of human mind. Okay. Before we go into anything deeper, we need to have two concepts, two notions. First, the distinction between competence and performance. So we have linguistics competence and linguistics performance. We have these two things at the same time. And what are we really interested in? The answer is competence. We want to study the competence, the linguistic competence of an individual, but not the performance. So what do we mean by competence? Competence is what we subconsciously know about language and our ability of using language. So competence is like the mental aspect of our linguistics ability. On the other hand, we have the outer performance of our linguistics, our language usage, which is what we actually do when we use language. This is like the physical part of language. Let's look at some example. So we know this expression is grammatical. It makes sense. It makes sense for a native English speaker. At very lazy elephants drank brandy. I believe this would be a brand new sentence for you. I think you will never heard any something like this before. This would be your first encounter of the sentence. However, you know this sentence is perfectly grammatical. It's not. You do not memorize the correctness of this sentence because this is the first encounter of the sentence. However, 8 elephants very lazy brandy drank would be ungrammatical. Your linguistics competence tells you this is grammatical and this is ungrammatical. You know it. This is your linguistic competence. What we want to know is our linguistic competence. On the other hand, linguistic performance is not that important for our linguistic study. Again, linguistic performance is the actual realization or actual manifestation of competence. Okay, let's have another example. So we can have a performance error. Performance may be flawed because some memory limitations, distraction, shifts of attention and interest, and errors of other factors. So the performance of speaker may not be fault-free, is not perfect, even though his competence is always perfect. Let's have a specific example of performance error. So sometimes we have slips of tongue. Let's take a look at this interesting YouTube video.
Can you imagine shifting a substantial number of a substantial number to Afghanistan, where the Taliban has been gaining strength and Osama bin Laden is still at large?
I think that was Osama bin Laden.
Right. Obama bin Laden, right? So this guy has a slip of tongue. But he knows what he tried to say. He tried to say Obama bin Laden. So his performance is intact. His no, sorry, his competence is intact. His linguistics knowledge is intact. However, um, he made a performance error. Another example is like you have a very talkative friend, but he or she went to see a dentist and he cannot speak for one day because of some minor operation of his oral cavity. So, can we say that he or she lost his linguistics competence? The answer is no. His linguistics knowledge is still intact. However, he or she cannot speak for one day. Okay, now we know linguistics is to study the competence, the subconscious ability of human using language. Now we can decompose the now we can decompose competence or grammar or linguistics knowledge into uh, several parts. The first one is phonetics. Phonetics is the study of physical aspects of speech production and perception. This is like the physical sound aspect of human language. Okay. And then we have phonology, which is the study of the sound structures within languages. It's very similar to phonetics, but the critical difference between these two guys is that phonetics is about the physical sounds, the sounds that can be measured by recorded by machines. However, phonology is to study mental sounds. This sounds a little bit abstract, but it will make sense when we dive into phonology. Okay, and then we have morphology. Morphology is the study of the internal structure of words. So words will have some internal structure. For example, is words have two parts. Have word and the plural s. Okay, and then we have syntax, a study of the structure of sentences. In other words, how words can combine into grammatical sentences. And then we have semantics, the study of meaning at the word and sentence level. And then we have pragmatics, the study of linguistics meaning in broader contexts such as world knowledge and behavior. In addition to the decomposition of competence, linguistics also is linked to other fields. It can also combine it with other fields as well. For example, social linguistics is a study of the interaction of language and culture. And psycholinguistics is a study of how language is processed in the mind. And brain and language is a study of how and where our knowledge of language is represented or located in the brain. And also language acquisition is the study of how an infant and a child acquire a first language or simultaneous languages. Also the study of how children acquire second language later in life. And also computational linguistics, the study of computational and mathematical properties of language and the design and analysis of natural language processing systems. Okay, that's it for today's lecture, and remember to do the in-class exercise. See you next time. Bye bye.